How to act on set. Hey everyone, I'm Matthew Cornwall with Get Taped here in Atlanta, Georgia, one of Atlanta's original audition taping services, which I co-own with my amazingly talented, beautiful wife and best friend, Brooke. And now on to our topic. How to act on set. First of all, coming up with a title to these videos that will neatly fit on the side of the screen can be a challenge. All that to say, the title of this week's video is a play on words, because we're not talking about how to act between action and cut, but on the contrary, between cut and action. That is to say, we're not going to be talking about the craft of acting, but instead your behavior on set. And I have to be honest, as positive as I try to stay on this channel, there have been a recent confluence of situations about this topic that have caused me to be thinking about it and have put this topic on my heart. That, combined with my own experience of the entire spectrum of behavior on set, and well, it just felt like the right time. Okay, so what am I talking about? Well, first, let's talk about the behavior of others on set. Specifically, the number one on the call sheet, i.e. the celebrity, the director, the showrunner, producer, or the writer, director, head of the studio. In essence, it's the top dog on set that day. And that person does one very important thing that I'm interested in talking about here, and that is establishing the tone on set. I heard a story once about Robert Downey Jr. doing a shoot here locally in Atlanta. And one particular morning, he goes up to an actor's trailer and knocks on the door. This was just a day player there for really just that one day. And when the actor opened the door, Robert Downey Jr. was standing there and just wanted to chat with this actor about things other than the scene. He just wanted to get to know this actor before they traveled to set and things got crazy and they were to shoot the scene and then move on with their lives. And that is amazing. Any actor would feel so welcomed and respected by that type of behavior. And you better believe that day player will now want to give 200% on set because of how they were treated by Robert Downey Jr. I can certainly vouch for so many humans that have set a positive tone on set for everyone, cast and crew. Those experiences made me want to work harder. It made the experience more fulfilling and had me leaving the set beaming. I don't think it's a total coincidence that every female director I've ever had has been an amazing experience, especially in terms of what we're discussing here with setting the tone on the set. That's not to say that the male directors were the opposite. I've had amazing experiences with directors like Adam McKay, Chris McKay, Howie Deutsch, just to name a few. Add to that actors like Pablo Schreiber, Ryan Reynolds, and Jason Bateman. Ryan Reynolds was actually in a dream of mine recently, which was very weird. Charlize Theron, Tracy Ellis Ross, she is a dream. Angie Harmon, Ed Helms, and the list goes on. And pardon me while I clean up this mess of all the names that I just dropped on the floor. Sorry, not sorry, because I truly am thankful to have had these experiences with these celebrities, these directors, these top dogs who have set the tone on those respective sets in a way that made me feel respected, welcomed, and what that ends up doing is making me more collaborative with the cast and the crew. You end up getting a better product from everyone, and everyone has a good time. It's a win-win situation. On the flip side, I've had the nightmare experiences. One particular director of a $150 million budget film had me re-audition for my character. Once I was already at base camp. I had to come to his trailer. He had this fancy little patio set up outside his trailer, and I had to audition essentially for him again. And then after I rebooked the role, I guess, I don't know, no less than 2 times on set over the course of the shoot, he outwardly insulted me on set during filming. Not while cameras were rolling, but between takes. So yeah, I don't have a great memory of that person, and quite frankly, I never want to work with him again. I have had other experiences where people who are setting the tone just seem to think that the world revolves around them. They're like that kid you grew up with who invited you over to watch him play video games, but he didn't let you play. People who are selfish, bratty, and on occasion verbally abusive. And as I teased at the top of this video, I've heard some anecdotes just in the last couple of weeks of executive producers, directors, and other top brass on local productions that have just not been good. These people just don't seem to have any regard for the rest of the people beneath them, around them, and how they affect them. And here's the life lesson they all somehow missed out on. You have influence, and I'm talking to anyone watching this video right now. To borrow a term of the day, you are an influencer right now. And I don't care if you have power in your chosen field. Power is a nuanced, different thing than influence. But every human on this earth, at every moment of their lives, has a degree of influence on the world around them. Case in point, if you're watching this while indoors, then you have a degree of influence over the heating and cooling system. You're either helping it if it's a heating system, or you're working against it if it's a cooling system. The onions you had for lunch are definitely having an influence on the people who are sitting, within 6 feet of you. And I have influence over your thoughts. Want proof? Okay. Do not, I repeat, do not think about pink elephants. So I've proven in the simplest of terms that you have influence on the world around you. Your entire person has influence on the world around you. And more importantly, every behavior that you express, every word you speak has the potential to influence those around you in either a positive, neutral, or negative way. Now, my hope is that you already see and understand what a responsibility this is. That you don't just live in a bubble. Even when you're driving where you kind of feel isolated and alone, you have influence on the car in front of you and potentially the many cars behind you. So in that case, your influence is extending possibly 100 feet or more in different directions. When you come home to greet your cat, your spouse, your roommate, etc., the first words out of your mouth and the behavior that comes along with it set the tone for the entire evening. If you work in the service industry, you have a ton of influence across all of those customer interactions in a given day. But back to set. If you're a day player, or it's your first day on set, or it's your first booking, you can sometimes feel small, insignificant. I like to say that it kind of feels like you're the uninvited guest to the party. Oh, I'm sorry, who are you here with? Oh, okay. But despite being number 37 on the call sheet, you still have influence on everyone you come into contact with on that set. The base camp PA, the wardrobe person, the makeup person, the hair person, every assistant director, the DP, the director, the grips, the transpo, the caterers, etc. In fact, let me just kind of skip ahead here. One of the biggest reasons that you might spontaneously recur on a television show, and it's not skill, because presumably anyone who gets to set should have a reasonable level of skill if the cast director did their job. So it's not really skill that necessarily gets you that next episode. And it's not even necessarily the popularity that you have with the audience, because likely that last episode that you were in hasn't even aired yet. So if it's not skill, if it's not popularity, what is it? A big factor is how cool, fun, and generous you were while you were on set. Were you a collaborator, or were you just a big fat turd? Your behavior on set matters. Because when I'm producing a project, the actors and the crew that I want to work with time and time again are the ones I truly want to hang out with after the project has wrapped. This is a relationship business, after all. So yes, their personality between takes at times was a bigger influence on me wanting to rehire them than their talent. Yeah, because I expect that skill set to grow before we work together again. But if you're a turd on set just once, well, I don't care how talented you are. Your headshot's going in the trash. I'm not going to work with you again. It's as simple as that. Life's too short to be putting up with people who have no self-respect or respect for others. So think about the type of person you want to be when you're number one on the call sheet. The type of person you would want to work with, and start acting that way today. With your cat, your neighbor, your barista at your next audition, or the next time you come in to get taped, and certainly the next time you're on set. Oh, and before I wrap this up, I would love for you to name drop only your great experiences in the comments below. Who are the people that set the tone in such a way that you want to emulate that when you're the number one on the call sheet? Leave out the bad experiences. They don't deserve to live rent-free in your head anymore. Because clearly I've gotten over that one that I shared earlier. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on set.